Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another show on the Sports Music and Live podcast. Today I'm going to cover about a gig I went to. I did do one recently about this Stereophonics gigs on the 4th of July, but the quality didn't come out good. I had a few issues with the camera, so I've had to redo it. So I'm going to redo that today. And that gig was on the 4th of July at Finsbury Park. A great venue. It was a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be, I must say. Finsbury Park was lovely. The only criticism I got of it, there wasn't enough bars to get a beer or any sort of drink. They did have side stalls where you could get drinks, but as in the main bar, it was too small for the size of the venue, I'd say. And that's the only criticism I've got all the day. So we went there. That was me, Robbie, James, Robbo, Mark Robbo, and Man Like Els. I must say, this ain't Man Like Els' sort of music, but even he appreciated how good it is, and I'm going to get into that now. So, first a guy that I see who was a supporting act for him was a guy called Finn Foster, and I must say, very impressed, and he's got a new fan. And anyone that has listened to Finn Foster, go and listen to some of his music. He's really good. He's got a cracking voice, a great songwriter too. I must say, I likened his voice to a bit like Teddy Swims. That's how good he was. And he's got that country vibe to him too. So I think he could do big in America personally. Whether he does or not, the future will tell us. But he's certainly one for the future to watch out for. He's done a few songs and every song was great. Like I say, what a voice. I've seen some great singers in my time, but he's got to be up there with one of the great voices that I've seen so far, and it's raw talent too. So, he's definitely going to be one for the future, and done a really good set. And like I say, he's a singer-songwriter, and he can play the nice guitar, an acoustic guitar, which isn't easy to play, I must say. So, the other supporting act was a band that I've been very much looking forward to see for a long time, and that was Blossoms. Again, they put on a great show. They got some great hits. The only thing is with Blossoms, found it was very bit samey. But there again, they did put on a great show. They finished with their not their latest hit, but you could say it was their latest hit, and that was with that song about Gary. They brought the big griller out. And they played some cracking tunes, and then they got some really good tunes too. Blossom, I've been a fan of them since they come out, so I was looking forward to seeing them. Although it was a bit samey, but again they put on a great show, and he was a really good frontman too, I must say, and an all-round good band, good performance from them all. Right, so let's get into the Stereophonics. So Stereophonics, for a very underrated band for me. And for people who've seen the podcast before, when we spoke about singers, and that was with Paul, who I'm not doing today, I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to do the music one on my own today. For those who watched and seen in the past, I normally have my partner Paul here doing the music side to it, but he didn't go to the gig, and we did mention it on the last podcast about rap music that you can go and watch now. That he didn't come to the gig, so there was no point in doing it. So let's get into it. Let's get into it about Stereophonics. So there's such an underrated band. I think they have got so many good tunes out there. And Kelly Jones, for me, has, if not, one of the best rock and roll voices out there today. For me, it's between him and Liam Gallagher. But Kelly, he doesn't strain his voice as much as what Liam does when Liam sings. So, he can still hit a lot of them notes. People have seen Liam on TV, let's say when he done the AJ and Dubois fight, but what people don't realise, the intensity that Liam sings at is going to affect his voice eventually. If you're touring, it will happen. But I've never been let down by Liam. But anyway, this ain't about Oasis. I'll be doing that after I see them. But let's get back into the Stereophonics. So they have got so many good tunes. And do you know what? They didn't even play a lot of the tunes they could have played. They had such a good set list, and straight away it went in with a great tune. I Want to Get Lost With You, and it was just hit after hit. For me, the song of the day, the two songs of the day was Maybe Tomorrow, and Mr. Writer. I tell you what would have been really nice if Mr. Writer just got played just as it's getting dark. I think that would have been absolutely banging. So anyone who hasn't seen Stereophonics, I promise you, go and see him and you will not be let down. It was a great all-round performance. The band itself was amazing, and yet never felt like they let us down there, and they put on a cracking show. I have to say they're up there with one of the best bands I've actually had the joy to see live, and I've seen a few now. And Kelly Jones says bits about stories, what leads to the songs, and he goes in the song, he has a bit of laugh for the crowd. And I'll tell you something, he's very good on that guitar too. I've never realised how good he is, and another really found respect for him for how good he is on that guitar. I always see him as a singer-songwriter and not just a guitar player, but you know, he's an all-round singer-songwriter and a good guitar player. And I have to say, I think he was better than Noel, and I'm a massive Oasis fan. You know, they're the best band to walk the planet in my eyes. But yeah, I'll compare. The reason I'm comparing them to these two bands, you could say, is because once upon a time, when Mate Dan, he said that Oasis, Stereophonics are like the Welsh Oasis. So I always sort of compare them two, but you know, they've got different great tunes. But yeah, anyway, let's get back into Stereophonics. I'm going off track there. But yeah, great band, really good live. And anyone who's got tickets to go and see them live this year, I'm not sure if they're touring next year, but I know they're doing a big tour. I think towards the end of the summer they're going into arena tours. I think they've got a big one in Manchester. They're doing in the, I believe, in the Manchester Arena. I advise you to either get tickets if you can. If not, if you are going, then I promise you now, you're not going to be let down. That was an amazing gig and an amazing day. The sun was shining. What more could you ask for? 3 good performances, and it was a cracking day. Like I was saying, like man like Els, who's my mate, and he's not really into indie rock and roll or anything like that really, but even he could appreciate how good they are, or how good them bands were live. So especially Stereophonics. So for someone that's not into that music, and when you see it live, and that's the beauty of live music, when you go there and you're there live, it's a completely different ball game, and you can get right into the music more, even if you're not really feeling it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So thank you Stereophonics for a cracking day, and all the bands that put on a good show. And for those who haven't seen them or would like to see them, I'd strongly advise going to see them, because I promise you, you're not going to be let down. So yeah, thank you for listening to the Stereophonics one. I will be bringing you another podcast about Ed Sheeran very soon. So yeah, thank you for listening, and yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, sorry, do the like, subscribe, give us a tick and all that nonsense, ring the bell and give us a follow please. Thank you very much for listening.